Are you drinking a glass of milk every morning because you believe it is good for your bones, supports healthy aging, and helps your overall health? But if you are over 50, and you have ever been told that your creatinine is high, your kidneys are getting weaker, your feet are swelling, you are waking up often at night to urinate, you feel tired all the time, or your blood pressure is becoming harder to control, then that innocent-looking glass of milk may be something you need to take a closer look at today. The issue is not simply that you are drinking milk. The real question is this. Is the type of milk you are choosing actually the right one for your kidneys? Regular cow's milk can contain a significant amount of phosphorus, potassium, and animal protein. For a young, healthy person, that may not be a major concern. But for an older adult whose kidney filtering function has already started to decline, every glass of milk may quietly place more stress on the kidneys day after day. And here is the worrying part. At first, you may not notice anything at all. There may be no pain, no obvious warning sign, and nothing that clearly tells you that something is wrong. Then one day, a routine blood test shows that your creatinine has gone up. Your doctor begins advising you to cut back on certain foods. And suddenly, you find yourself asking an important question. Could something I drink every single day be making life harder for my kidneys? The good news is this. You do not necessarily have to give up milk completely. You may simply need to choose a better type. In this video, we are going to look at 3 kidney-friendly milk alternatives that older adults may want to consider. These options may help reduce the daily burden on the kidneys and may support better creatinine management when combined with the right diet, careful monitoring, and appropriate medical guidance. But before we get into the list, one thing must be made absolutely clear. No type of milk is a cure for kidney disease. And no glass of milk can lower creatinine overnight. However, for older adults, one small change in a daily habit can sometimes take a meaningful amount of pressure off the kidneys over time. As many older Americans like to say, better safe than sorry. So, if you are dealing with kidney concerns, if you are monitoring your creatinine, potassium, or phosphorus, or if your doctor has advised you to pay closer attention to your diet, then choosing the right milk is no longer a small detail. A glass of milk every morning may seem harmless, but choosing the wrong one can be like asking an old water filter to work an extra shift every single day. So let us begin. Number 3. Unsweetened cashew milk. When people first hear the words cashew milk, many of them pause. Cashews? Can someone with weak kidneys really drink milk made from nuts? That is a fair question. But what matters most is not simply where the milk comes from. What truly matters is what is inside the glass. How much phosphorus does it contain? How much potassium? How much sodium? How much protein? For someone living with kidney concerns, those are the numbers that matter most. Regular cow's milk can contain a fairly high amount of phosphorus. Phosphorus is a mineral that healthy kidneys can usually manage without much difficulty. But when the kidneys become weaker, excess phosphorus can build up in the bloodstream. And that buildup is not harmless. Over time, too much phosphorus may disturb the body's mineral balance, weaken the bones, damage blood vessels, and make the kidneys work harder than they should. Unsweetened cashew milk, on the other hand, is often much lower in phosphorus than cow's milk. And because it comes from a plant source, the naturally occurring phosphorus it contains is generally absorbed less efficiently than the phosphorus found in animal-based dairy products or in processed food additives. Think of it this way. If cow's milk is like carrying a heavy bag up a long flight of stairs, unsweetened cashew milk may be more like carrying a lighter one. The kidneys still have work to do, but the burden may be easier to manage. The next nutrient to think about is potassium. For people with chronic kidney disease, potassium is not something to ignore. When the kidneys are no longer filtering properly, potassium can build up in the blood. And when potassium levels rise too high, it can do more than make you feel weak or fatigued. It can affect the normal rhythm of your heartbeat. A single glass of cow's milk can contain a relatively higher amount of potassium. Unsweetened cashew milk is often lower in potassium, which may make it easier to include in a kidney-conscious eating plan. Then there is sodium. Too much sodium causes the body to hold on to extra fluid. That fluid can lead to swollen feet, puffy ankles, a heavy feeling in the body, higher blood pressure, and general discomfort. High blood pressure is also one of the major factors that can make kidney function decline even faster. That is why people with kidney concerns are often advised to reduce their salt intake. But it is not only the salt you shake onto your meals that matters. You also have to watch packaged foods, canned foods, processed meals, sauces, and even beverages. If you choose the right variety, unsweetened cashew milk is often relatively low in sodium, which may make it a gentler option for many older adults. There is one more possible advantage worth mentioning. Cashew milk may contain monounsaturated fats, similar to the heart-healthier fats found in foods like olive oil. These fats may be a better option for cardiovascular health than consuming too much saturated fat from whole cow's milk. And for someone with weakened kidneys, the heart and kidneys are deeply connected. When one struggles, the other often feels the strain too. Healthier blood vessels, steadier blood pressure, and better circulation can all help support kidney health over time. Unsweetened cashew milk is also typically low in protein. For some people with kidney disease who are not on dialysis and whose doctor has recommended limiting protein intake, this may be helpful. Why? Because whenever the body breaks down protein, it creates waste products that the kidneys must filter out. Choosing a lower protein milk may help you avoid using part of your daily protein allowance on something that may not be the best protein source for your needs. But here is the most important warning of all. Not every carton of cashew milk is actually kidney-friendly. Many manufacturers add extra nutrients to improve the label. They may include ingredients such as calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, or other additives containing the word phosphate. To a healthy person, added calcium may sound like a benefit. But for someone with weakened kidneys, phosphate additives can be a serious concern, because the body absorbs them much more efficiently than naturally occurring phosphorus. That means a milk that looks healthy from the front of the carton may not be kidney-friendly at all. So before buying it, do one simple thing. Turn the carton around and read the ingredient list carefully. Do not judge it by the front label. The front of the carton may say, healthy, plant-based, calcium-rich, no added sugar. It sounds appealing, but the truth is usually on the back. Look for unsweetened cashew milk with no added phosphate ingredients. In general, the shorter and simpler the ingredient list, the better. And even if you choose the right product, do not overdo it. For older adults, especially those with kidney concerns, even healthy foods should be consumed in moderation. 1 cup per day may be reasonable for many people, but if your lab results are abnormal, it is always wise to ask your doctor or a registered renal dietitian before making regular changes. And if you think cashew milk sounds gentle on the kidneys, the next option may surprise you even more. Number 2, unsweetened rice milk. Rice milk is something many people rarely think about. When people discuss replacing cow's milk, they usually think first about almond milk, oat milk, or soy milk. But for someone concerned about kidney health, unsweetened rice milk deserves serious consideration. The reason is simple. Rice milk is often naturally low in several minerals. And for people with weakened kidneys, 3 nutrients deserve very close attention: phosphorus, potassium, sodium. Think of them as 3 important numbers your kidneys have to manage every day. When your kidneys are healthy, they work like a careful gatekeeper, constantly filtering and balancing what stays in your bloodstream. But as we grow older and kidney function slowly declines, the gatekeeper may no longer be as strong as it once was. If you continue taking in too many minerals that are difficult to process, the kidneys may have to work much harder than they should. Unsweetened rice milk is often lower in phosphorus than regular cow's milk. And just like other plant-based options, the phosphorus that occurs naturally in plant foods is generally less efficiently absorbed than the phosphorus found in dairy products or food additives. That matters more than many people realize. When phosphorus builds up in the bloodstream, the body may begin pulling calcium from the bones in an effort to restore balance. Over time, that may weaken the bones and may also contribute to blood vessel damage. For older adults, that is especially important. Someone who is 65 or 70 is not only thinking about protecting the kidneys. They are also thinking about avoiding falls, keeping bones stronger, protecting the heart, and keeping blood pressure under control. Everything in the body is connected. Reducing the phosphorus burden may seem like a small step, but over time, small steps can matter. When it comes to potassium, rice milk is also often much lower than cow's milk. Picture it this way. If every glass of cow's milk is like a large bill your kidneys have to pay, rice milk may be more like a much smaller bill. It is not free, but it may be far easier for your kidneys to handle. For someone at risk of high potassium, that is a very important point. High potassium often develops quietly. Many people do not know they have a problem until a routine blood test reveals it. But if potassium rises too high, it can interfere with the normal rhythm of the heart. That is why people with kidney concerns are often reminded to be mindful of foods and drinks such as bananas, oranges, potatoes, tomatoes, coconut water, and even everyday beverages that seem harmless. The sodium content of unsweetened rice milk is also usually quite low when you choose the right brand. That may help support healthier blood pressure and reduce fluid retention. For someone who often notices swollen feet, heavy legs, a puffy face in the morning, or deep sock marks around the ankles by evening. Reducing sodium through small daily choices may make a meaningful difference over time. There is another important point to consider. Protein. Rice milk is naturally very low in protein. For some people living with kidney disease who are not yet on dialysis, and who have been advised to limit protein under medical supervision, that may be helpful. Whenever your body breaks down protein, it produces waste products such as urea. Your kidneys are responsible for filtering those waste products from the bloodstream. Put simply, weakened kidneys are like an old coffee filter that has already been used for many years. If you keep pouring more and more coffee grounds into it, it may still work, but it will work more slowly. It will have to strain harder. It may clog more easily. Choosing a lower protein beverage may help reduce some of the extra waste your kidneys must process every day. However, rice milk comes with an important warning too. Many rice milk products sold in stores contain added sugar, flavorings, thickening agents, or extra minerals. If you choose one with added sugar, it may negatively affect blood sugar levels, especially if you have diabetes. And diabetes remains one of the leading causes of declining kidney function. So the rule is simple. Choose unsweetened rice milk. Choose one without added phosphate ingredients. And avoid products that are heavily fortified with extra minerals whenever possible. Again, read the ingredient label carefully. If you see words like phosphate, calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, you may want to put that carton back on the shelf. Do not let the front of the package fool you. As many older Americans say, read the fine print. In other words, pay attention to the small words, because when it comes to kidney health, those small words may matter the most. And now, let us move to the final option, the one many people find most interesting. Number 1, unsweetened flax milk. Cashew milk and rice milk are both strong options because they may reduce some of the workload placed on the kidneys. They are often lower in phosphorus, potassium, sodium, and protein. But flax milk offers something a little different. It is not only often gentle on the kidneys, it may also support the body in another important way. It may help support healthier inflammation balance and healthier blood vessels. For older adults, especially those living with chronic kidney disease, silent inflammation is a real concern. Kidneys do not always decline because of one dramatic event. Sometimes they weaken gradually, like a wall that has been exposed to moisture for years, a little bit at a time. At first, no one notices. Then one day, the cracks begin to show. Flax milk contains alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, which is a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. Omega-3 fats are often associated with heart health, inflammation support, and overall wellness. For someone with weakened kidneys, supporting better inflammation balance throughout the body may provide an extra advantage. Of course, this does not mean flax milk cures kidney disease. It does not. But when it becomes part of a healthier overall routine, including reducing salt, managing blood sugar, controlling blood pressure, taking medications correctly, attending regular appointments, and making smarter food choices, it may be a worthwhile option to consider. When it comes to phosphorus, unsweetened flax milk is often very low, provided it has not been fortified with phosphate additives. That is especially important for people who need to keep blood phosphorus under control. When it comes to potassium, flax milk is also often much lower than cow's milk. Some brands contain very small amounts of potassium, which may make them useful for people who need to limit potassium in their daily diet. As for sodium, unsweetened flax milk is usually quite low when you choose a simple, minimally processed product. That makes it more consistent with the goal of lowering blood pressure strain and reducing fluid retention. Here is something else many people appreciate. Flax milk is often nearly cholesterol-free, naturally low in calories, and very low in protein. For someone with chronic kidney disease who has not yet started dialysis and has been told to reduce protein intake, that may be beneficial. However, one very important point must be emphasized here. If you are already receiving dialysis, your protein needs may be completely different. People on dialysis often need more protein, not less, to replace what is lost during treatment. So do not reduce your protein intake simply because you heard that lower protein may be easier on the kidneys. For people on dialysis, every major dietary decision should be guided by a doctor or a registered renal dietitian. For those who are not yet on dialysis, who are monitoring their creatinine, or who have early to moderate kidney disease, choosing beverages that are lower in phosphorus, potassium, and sodium may be a wise step. But just like the first two milk alternatives, flax milk has one major trap: phosphate additives. Many manufacturers add tricalcium phosphate to increase the calcium content and make the nutrition label look more attractive. A shopper sees the words calcium-rich, and naturally assumes the product must be good for the bones. But for someone with weakened kidneys, those phosphate additives may be exactly what should be limited. So remember this simple rule. No added sugar. No added phosphate. The shorter the ingredient list, the better. If you pick up a carton and the ingredient list is as long as a grocery receipt, filled with unfamiliar ingredients you cannot even pronounce, it may be wiser to put it back and choose another option. Kidney health does not usually require flashy products. It requires simple, consistent, appropriate choices. So now we have 3 milk alternatives older adults with kidney concerns may want to consider. Number 3. Unsweetened cashew milk. It may be gentler on the kidneys than regular cow's milk. It is often lower in phosphorus and potassium, and when you choose the right product, it may also provide heart-healthier fats. Number 2. Unsweetened rice milk. It is simple, easy to drink, and often naturally low in several minerals. It may be a practical option for people trying to reduce the burden of phosphorus, potassium, and sodium. Number 1. Unsweetened flax milk. It is not only often gentle on the kidneys, it also contains ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid that may support healthier inflammation balance and blood vessels. But the most important thing these 3 options have in common is this. You still have to choose the right product. Do not choose one with added sugar. Do not choose one with added phosphate ingredients. Do not buy it simply because the front of the carton says, healthy. Turn the carton around. Read the back. Study the ingredient list. Choose the simplest product you can find. Because sometimes helping your kidneys feel less burdened does not require an extreme diet or a dramatic lifestyle change. Sometimes, it can be as simple as replacing the milk you drink every morning with a more kidney-friendly alternative. 1 glass each morning. One small decision. Repeated week after week, month after month. To a younger person, that may not sound important. But after the age of 50, when the kidneys are no longer as strong as they once were, small daily choices can make a meaningful difference. And remember this. If your creatinine is rising, if you have been told you may be showing signs of weakened kidney function, if you are monitoring potassium, phosphorus, blood pressure, or blood sugar, then do not overlook what you drink every single day. You do not need to panic. You simply need to start paying closer attention. As the old saying goes, prevention is easier than treatment. A simple 7-day kidney-conscious eating plan. Before we finish, here is a gentle 7-day approach you may want to think about. Nothing extreme. Nothing complicated. Just a few practical steps that may help you begin taking better care of your kidneys. Day 1. Start with your milk. Tomorrow morning, instead of automatically pouring yourself a glass of cow's milk, pause for a moment. Pick up the carton. Turn it around. Read the ingredient list. If you see ingredients such as phosphate, calcium phosphate, tricalcium phosphate, dipotassium phosphate, consider choosing a different product. If your doctor has not given you strict dietary restrictions, you may want to try one of the 3 unsweetened milk alternatives we discussed. Unsweetened cashew milk, unsweetened rice milk, unsweetened flax milk. Drink a moderate amount. Do not overconsume it. And pay attention to how your body responds. Day 2. Simplify breakfast. Pair your kidney-conscious milk with a light breakfast that is lower in sodium and lower in added sugar. Try not to turn breakfast into a feast of pastries, sausage, bacon, or heavily processed foods. Those foods may taste good, but they are often packed with sodium, and sodium is one of the major contributors to higher blood pressure, swelling, fluid retention, and additional kidney stress. Day 3. Look carefully at lunch. At lunchtime, take a careful look at your plate. If half of the plate contains vegetables that fit your dietary plan, one small portion contains a simple starch, and another moderate portion contains protein according to your doctor's guidance, then you are already making a smarter choice than simply eating on autopilot. Day 4. Keep dinner lighter. At dinner, try to keep things a little lighter. Do not make your kidneys work an extra night shift. Limit very salty foods, heavy sauces, processed meals, and dinners that leave you unusually thirsty later in the evening. If you often feel heavy after dinner, if your swelling gets worse, if your blood pressure rises, or if you keep waking up thirsty during the night, your body may be trying to tell you something. Day 5. Watch your body more closely. Keep a short daily journal. Ask yourself, did my feet swell today? Did I feel more tired than usual? Did I wake up more often at night to urinate? Was my blood pressure stable? Did my blood sugar change? You do not need to write pages. Just a few lines per day are enough. Because taking care of your kidneys is not about guessing. It is about observing, adjusting, and working together with your healthcare team. Day 6. Reduce hidden sodium. Spend one day paying special attention to hidden sodium. Not only the salt shaker, but also canned soups, frozen meals, packaged snacks, sauces, instant noodles, deli meats, and restaurant foods. Many people think they are eating normally, while their kidneys are silently dealing with a very heavy sodium load. Day 7. Review and reset. At the end of the week, look back. How did you feel? Was your swelling any better? Did your meals feel lighter? Were you more aware of what you were drinking and eating? You do not have to become perfect overnight. The goal is not perfection. The goal is awareness. And from awareness comes better choice. Important medical disclaimer. One point must be made absolutely clear. The information in this video is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have kidney disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, abnormal potassium or phosphorus, rising creatinine, reduced estimated glomerular filtration rate, eGFR, or if you are receiving dialysis, please speak with your doctor or a registered renal dietitian before making significant dietary changes. Every person is different. One type of milk may be appropriate for one person and unsuitable for another. One food may be safe in one stage of kidney disease but may need to be limited in another. The wise approach is not to follow every recommendation blindly. The wise approach is to understand your own body better, ask better questions, and seek professional guidance when needed. Closing message. Wherever you are on your health journey, remember this. Growing older does not mean you must become weaker. Your body has carried you through decades of life, through work, stress, family responsibilities, illness, loss, and difficult seasons. Now, your body does not need fear. It needs kindercare. One more suitable glass of milk. One meal with a little less salt. One nutrition label read more carefully. One medical appointment you choose not to skip. One small decision that is a little kinder to your kidneys. That is all. But when those small choices are repeated consistently, one day at a time, they can make a meaningful difference. And that is worth remembering. If this video helped you better understand how to choose milk when living with kidney concerns, save this list of the 3 milk alternatives we discussed today. The next time you go grocery shopping, try one simple habit. Pick up the carton. Turn it around. Read the ingredient list before placing it in your cart. Because now you know that. Unsweetened cashew milk may be gentler on the kidneys and lower in potassium. Unsweetened rice milk is simple and often lower in phosphorus, potassium, and sodium. Unsweetened flax milk may be gentle on the kidneys and also offers plant-based omega-3s. But more important than remembering the names is remembering the lesson. Do not keep drinking something out of habit without checking whether it still fits your body's needs. When we are younger, the body may be more forgiving. A salty meal here. A heavy dinner there. A high-protein drink every morning. The body often manages. But after 50, especially when creatinine starts rising, blood pressure becomes harder to control, your feet begin swelling, or nighttime urination becomes more frequent, the small daily choices start to matter much more. A glass of milk may seem ordinary. But when that habit is repeated every day, month after month, year after year, it is no longer a small thing. As the old saying goes, small hinges swing big doors. And when it comes to kidney health, that saying is deeply true. You do not need to change everything today. You simply need to make one better choice than yesterday. Take a deep breath. Be kind to your body. And start with one small change that your kidneys may thank you for later.